If you still think women are attracted to looks, money, or smooth talk, you're already behind. While most men are chasing, some simply attract, no effort, no games. What do they all have in common? An internal system of control rooted in Stoic masculinity. The man who masters this doesn't compete. He leads, and he leads in silence. You need to stop blending in. Women know when they're in front of just another average guy, but they feel something deeper when facing a high-value man, a man who commands respect simply by existing. That man doesn't need to prove anything. He stands out through authentic masculine energy and the strength of his posture. Most men are light years away from this, trapped in emotional ignorance. Stoicism isn't some calm lifestyle trend. It's a mental weapon, strategic, powerful. It pushes away insecurity, desperation, neediness, everything that kills female attraction. That's why the Stoic man ends up with more dates, not because he tries, but because he's different. And that difference confuses, intrigues, provokes, and pulls women in like a silent magnet. If you want to understand why women feel this impact without even knowing why, stay until the end. This video can undo years of mistakes, but only if you listen closely and apply. If you leave now, you'll keep looking for answers in the wrong places. Choose wisely. If this message is already shaking something inside you, hit the like button, drop an honest comment, and share this video with someone who needs to hear these lessons. Your action helps more men wake up. Let's begin with the first clear sign that separates the average guy from the one who commands the game without saying a word. The Stoic man doesn't chase. He owns the room. There's a type of man who doesn't need to raise his voice to be noticed. He walks into a space and instantly shifts the atmosphere. It's not magic or luck. It's the direct result of his Stoic masculinity, built through discipline and emotional control. While others try to impress, he simply is, and that being carries a weight few can hold. In the realm of female attraction, a woman senses when a man is anchored in himself. It draws her in unconsciously, because it signals emotional safety and stability, two things that are nearly extinct today. Average man fights for attention. The Stoic man asserts a distinguished presence. That's not arrogance. That's identity clarity. This man doesn't argue to be heard. He listens more than he speaks, and when he speaks, every word is clear, solid, and unapologetic. That's the power of assertive communication, a silent pillar that demands respect. Practicing this starts with self-control. Pause before responding. Don't over-explain, and learn to hold the silence. Most men suffer from social anxiety because they don't realize the weight they carry. Training your gaze, correcting your posture, keeping your phone out of sight during conversations. These small shifts build silent charisma. This is a skill. Begin by watching natural leaders around you. See how they move. Everything is language. This kind of presence isn't born from ego, but from purpose-driven life. When a man lives with direction, he doesn't get lost in distractions. That focus creates impact. Women see it. They respect it. Attraction isn't a conscious choice. It's biological, ancestral. When a man radiates clear inner leadership, he awakens feminine curiosity at its deepest level. Here's a challenge for the next 7 days. Walk into every room like you're there to serve a greater purpose, not to prove yourself. This changes the way you walk, look, and listen. Soon, you'll notice how people look at you differently. That's masculine energy in motion. And energy, when it's well directed, is irresistible. The man who masters his inner territory becomes unavoidable in the external world. He doesn't ask for approval. He radiates direction. And that's only possible when you understand the difference between reacting and responding. Now we're entering a secret that very few men know, but we'll dive into that in the next point. Let's move into the second essential layer of this masculine transformation. The Stoic mind kills the need for validation. Most men don't realize they're stuck in an invisible loop. They do everything to please, wait for a reaction, get frustrated, and repeat. This thirst for approval is what sabotages the above-average attraction power they could have. The Stoic breaks this cycle. He doesn't act to be validated. He acts because he knows who he is. When a man needs a woman's approval to feel good, he's already lost. Seduction psychology teaches us that what attracts most is the contrast between accessibility and mystery. But a man who shapes himself to please loses the mystery. He becomes predictable, insecure, and dependent. None of that creates real female attraction. A woman feels when you're trying too hard. A forced compliment. An immediate reply on WhatsApp. The anxiety to book the next date, all screen neediness. Stoic masculinity teaches a man to be his own center of gravity. He doesn't rush. He watches. He chooses. He positions himself with clarity. This isn't coldness. It's emotional intelligence. It means knowing your limits, what you allow, and what you don't. Men without this filter get involved with anyone and regret it later. The Stoic man says no. And that no is magnetic because it shows. He has standards. Here's something to try. Instead of always initiating conversations, flip the script. Focus on your routine, your projects, and only interact when you truly want to, not as a tactic, but as a reflection of your reality. A man with emotional discipline doesn't play to please. He lives his life and shares it with those who earn it. When a woman senses that you have your own life, your own time and your own standards, her interest rises. That's not manipulation. That's natural order. The world bows to the man who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to lose. That's the core of a conscious relationship, when you attract by being, not by begging. This mindset goes even deeper when we talk about the kind of connection a man seeks. And that's where most guys lose the game before it even starts. In the next section, we'll explore the trait that completely redefines how women perceive you, even the ones who used to ignore you. Now we arrive at a critical point that most men fail to grasp, and it changes everything. The power of emotional predictability in attraction. Picture this: a woman faces two men. One is reactive, unpredictable, and emotional. The other is calm, consistent, and emotionally stable. Which one sparks long-term female attraction? No question, the second. The first might seem exciting at first, but soon becomes a burden. A woman craves a man who brings order, not chaos. A man who masters emotional maturity. Knows his value lies not in how he reacts, but in how he responds. He doesn't lose it over emotional insecurity. He doesn't change his tone over internal instability. He isn't swayed by emotional games. He brings emotional safety, one of the rarest traits in modern dating. Predictability doesn't mean boring. It means reliable. It means being the one who, even when challenged, doesn't lose control, doesn't shout, doesn't throw passive jabs. This behavior builds respect and ignites desire in a quiet, powerful way. It's pure seduction psychology, no gimmicks needed. Man living by the code of Stoic masculinity knows that giving into impulse is surrendering his authority. That's why he trains his mind daily. You can start with 5 minutes of meditation each morning, reading Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus, or journaling your emotional triggers. Women aren't attracted to men who constantly explain their pain. They want men who turn pain into strength. Men who, even when everything is falling apart, stay composed, process clearly, and act with intention. That's the real meaning of emotional self-mastery. He doesn't shout. He leads. He doesn't blame. He owns. Want to become that man? Start now. Observe how you react to criticism, delays, or tension. Your job isn't to win arguments. Your job is to win your internal reactions. When a woman sees that real control, she sees a high-value man, not a boy seeking approval, but a man ready for life. Quick pause here. If this content is opening your eyes to things you've been blind to, hit that like button and subscribe now. This is just the beginning. Let's move on. In the next section, you'll understand why some men have a magnetism that defies logic. They're not the best looking, not the richest, but they have something you can't fake, and that unlocks the next level of your transformation. Now let's dive into one of the most misunderstood secrets of male attraction: the energy that speaks before words. Before you even open your mouth, something about you is already speaking. Your posture, your rhythm, your gaze, your grounded walk. All of it creates your distinguished presence, and it gets noticed well before any clever line. Woman picks up on this instinctively. She can sense when she's in front of a man at peace with who he is. This kind of man gives off a signal that can't be faked. He doesn't need pickup lines, dating hacks, or tricks from YouTube. His authentic, masculine presence speaks louder, and that only happens when he's not playing a role, but living in alignment with his purpose-driven life. When you're aligned with your essence, your actions match your identity. You don't hesitate. You don't adapt to the room. You set the tone. This kind of energy comes from daily practice of Stoic masculinity, learning to control what you can and release what you can't. That creates calm. And calm is magnetic. Here's a practical example. Watch how you walk. Looking down, slouched shoulders that screams insecurity. Now walk tall. Look straight ahead. Take deliberate steps. The shift is immediate. That's masculine energy expressed non-verbally. And when you master it, attraction becomes effortless. This kind of magnetism has nothing to do with being the most handsome or talkative. In fact, the men who generate the most extraordinary attraction are often the quietest in the room, but their presence fills the space. This isn't learned through tricks. It's cultivated through consistency, self-awareness, and focus. A woman senses when you're not seeking approval. She feels when your energy isn't loaded with need, but with clarity that makes her curious. And when curiosity meets respect, a real connection begins. That's the edge of the man who builds his presence instead of memorizing pickup lines. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but it begins with one choice. Stop pretending to be what pleases others and start becoming what inspires them. And that only happens when a man develops his presence through conscious living. In the next section, we'll reveal why the man who controls himself emotionally is the only one truly capable of leading a conscious relationship. Now let's close with the most direct and powerful idea of all: Stoicism as a real-life catalyst for more dates. Why Stoicism actually attracts more women in the real world. Men try to attract women through artificial effort. They buy expensive clothes, memorize clever lines, change their lifestyle just to impress. The Stoic man does the opposite. He aligns with what's essential, and that makes him more attractive. He doesn't chase dates. Dates come to him. Stoic masculinity creates a kind of attraction that's hard to explain, but impossible to ignore. When a man lives with purpose, moves with intention, holds emotional control, and knows where he's going, he stands out in every setting. He becomes the exception, and women notice that with razor-sharp accuracy. Female attraction is driven by perceived value, and value, to most women, has far less to do with looks and far more to do with presence, clarity, and direction. The Stoic man sends a clear signal of inner strength. He doesn't need to talk himself up. He shows who he is through how he behaves. That's masculine energy activating deep primal cues. Women are drawn in by curiosity. They notice the unusual calm, the firm gestures, the focused gaze, the absence of approval seeking. This kind of distinguished presence sparks attraction before any words are exchanged. And when the words do come, the Stoic man doesn't impress. He resonates. In practice, this means more invitations, more glances, more genuine interest, not because he begs for it, but because he embodies what's missing: stability, direction, certainty. That's why so many good-looking guys stay invisible, while a seemingly average Stoic man becomes irresistible. He's rare, and the rare draws attention. Even more, the man guided by his life purpose is in motion. He studies, grows, and surrounds himself with people who expand his thinking. More he evolves, the more he encounters quality women in aligned environments. The result? More meaningful dates, more women noticing the difference, more opportunities unfolding naturally. Stoic masculinity doesn't just reshape your mindset, it reshapes your surroundings. It's as if the universe responds to your inner stability by offering outer alignment. When that happens, the man no longer wonders if Stoicism attracts women. He lives the answer every single day. If you've made it this far, it's time to decide: will you take control or stay invisible? You now understand that Stoic masculinity isn't just an ancient philosophy. It's a turning point. While most men stay stuck in games, neediness, and external validation, the Stoic man builds his core from the inside out, and because of that, he attracts more, he attracts better, and he attracts naturally. So let me ask you, are you still going to sabotage yourself, trying to please people who don't even know what they want? Or will you step up and lead your own emotional life? Will you keep repeating the same mistakes in empty dates, or become the man who commands respect wherever he stands? Comment below. I'm in control of my presence if this message gave you a new perspective. That sentence is your commitment to this new path. Let's see who's really ready to claim their worth. Thank you for watching until the end. May this message become the spark for your transformation. If this video made sense to you, hit like, send it to a friend who needs a wake-up call. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep learning how to master your mind, your behavior, and your relationships with wisdom and strength.